All right. Now, there's great places in the world. So they say the Western culture's the greatest places: America, England, Australia, things like that. Right? And so, where's the greatest place to fit? They all say they're great and the best, right? But it depends on your bubble, right? So, if you're a slacker, right, in this world, and you want um, medical benefits, cheap, easy to get, Centrelink, and all that kind of stuff, looked after, and all these benefits and stuff like that. Given out to you, no matter what you are. You don't need excuse. You can be druggo, all these things. They'll give you these benefits. Shocking, eh? They don't check up nothing. As long as you're poor, that's about it. You get these benefits. As Australian people, love to pay for people. Right, their own people. They love to pay you. As long as you're your own people, you come to their parties and stuff like that. They'll pay for you, right? Pretty much how they go. If you're on disability, they love to look after their disabilities with some money and go over there, right? That's Australia. So if you're that type, which is what Emma just said, she goes, Australia's more for me. She struggles in a lot of areas and stuff like that. She doesn't have, if you don't have any natural skills or good skills like an artist, singer, an actor, stuff like that can be easy as well. But you need a skill, you need to be naturally at it, or have learnt some of it in that area. So then your life becomes easy, right? If you don't have that, then yeah, you're better off here in Australia. Right? Australia is your country, as they like. And if you're like a person who needs to join the army, be told what to do. You can't have a knife, can't have this. You have to rely on the system. You don't have really free independence. Yeah, a little bit like a person on disability. Right? So come to Australia. That'll be your land, right? The land of repeat and all that kind of stuff. But they always make sure that area is cool, right? As they struggle. And then you got America. Right? When it comes to these, you got England, which is a little bit of both actually. I find that England screws up in a lot of ways because they've got the baddest of everything. They've gone too strict. So England's another way, but they're strict. So you've got to have more insurance. You won't be able to get disability so easy over there, but they've got it. They've got these same things Australia has, but they're more strict. So you're more likely wouldn't go to that area. Is why they don't get too much, influx of people usually in certain areas. It all depends on where you are and who's coming in, who's connected and all that kind of stuff. It's why people make choices. But if you can just get to a place or any place, you make a choice. Right? And then you got America. Now, America is a bit more harder. They don't like to give out so much money. Definitely if you're a slacker and all these kind of things. They help out their benefit people similar to ours, sort of. Not as good. We've got a little bit better, apparently. It all depends on where you look at in that area. But it's not better when the people pay for it. So when you get a job, you're a job person, it's actually more costly for them. They're like, another tax. But I guess they don't care. It's there. It's happened. They choose to, right? We're Americans. They go, no, we go more private in certain sectors. We do this, we do that. And if you don't have money, you're screwed. So if you don't have these things and you're a person that needs help, don't be in America. Come to Australia where they'll fix you up, right? And you just give them all the words they need to hear. Right? That's how it usually goes. I know a lot of people who can be on disability just because they stutter. Right? Say you stutter more than usual and stuff like that. I knew this person over 15 years ago. I don't know if you can still care now. They changed policies. But you know what I'm talking about. You don't actually really need to be really sick. And it's not what you are. It's who you know and how you process it and who you got around you so you can get that processed. A little bit like how the bullies bully you here in Australia. They can go behind your back and go to court and keep doing it to you, bullying until you go, fuck it. It's false anyway. And then they go, yes, gotcha. Right, that's what's going on in my story. Right? They go, yes, gotcha. And then you don't turn up the court and they get what they want. Right? And you did nothing wrong except just give up on these bullies, and that's why they keep doing what they do. They go, well, you eventually, give up, not turn up and that, and we'll win. Isn't that sad? Definitely if you're poor in this country, they really pick on you. It's fucking sad as fuck. No different than America when it comes to that area. Right? So you're better off being a place where they don't pick on you so much when it comes to that area if you can. If not the same, if it's got other benefits somewhere else. But with America, if you can be a singer and all these things, you have a better life. You can have a gun, you have more laws to feel that when you're a righteous person that you can handle a knife, and it's good to have one when you have killers around. Trust me, right? than having a country where they go, not for anyone. You're still going to have these killers they're actually picking up, right? As they know it's easier in this country when you look at it in certain other areas, right? It's where they get worse. And because we can bully you easier behind the scenes, and only all the bad guys have it, and so on. And a lot of these countries that you see that go too independent of their country, the country ends up corrupted and takes over them, like China and North Korea. So you got to watch them taking so many, you being so independent on them and not having anything that you can defend yourself when shit really gets real. And it always will. Even army soldiers coming out from the sky to invade a country. Right? You'll have to go run into your little basement here in Australia, as you might only have a spoon or a basic kitchen knife. Right? And the cops will be shot down there, and then you go away from the military and you'll be a slave till then. Where in America, you could fight back. You see the difference of freedom, of real true freedom? You can actually go, shit, I've got a chance to look after me. Here in Australia, it's like, if I don't get away, my kid's going to be a slave, raped, killed. So am I. All right? Shit. Hope me things good. And what we hear in Australia is that they've got the worst of police usually in those areas, not as good as America, if not the same. And they've definitely got a worse than military and a lot of land to defend. So they've got a high probability of having that problem occur to them. Then America, right? So if you're worried about that kind of thing and real safety, really for real, in an area definitely of countries want to war and need materials, you wouldn't want to be at Australia. They're wide open when it comes to easy availability to evade, right? And if I was a country I wanted to invade, I've already talked about this before, I would invade Australia. They used to be strong back in World War II, but in World War III, they're pansies. Right? They might have some good people, but not many, because most of them have to go by these pansy laws. Right? So they're pansies. So that's sad, isn't it? It's really bloody sad. And so I'd pick America if you've got skills in any of those things, and artists and all these things, which they do. That's why America thrives the most, because they step up with balls, like when it comes to COVID, like Donald Trump said that, you set these standards, but everyone still has freedom of speech. You can still go to the park. If you want to go get sick, go get sick. If you want to go sniff paint, go sniff paint. As long as you're not sniffing paint in the street and showing people that sniffing paint's good, promoting it. Other than that, we won't care. We've got other bigger problems to fry. But Australia's like, the big problems are hard. We'll just put them in the underworld and deal with themselves like we do with our laws. We're getting everyone to deal with themselves like noise complaint. It's pretty fucking sad, right? The more you look at it, the more you go, fuck, we're really here all alone and getting everything taken off you. So when things go down, it goes down big and it goes down hard. That's what we see now here in Australia, right? So, which country would you pick and which person are you? So if you're an independent person, you want your freedom, you really want to make sure your kids are safe, because when you're in that country, you can say your kids are safe all you want, but they're technically not. Right? They're wide open. They're only safe because no one's attacked yet, right? At that moment. But if they get attacked, are they safe then? No! So you always look at that part is always meant to be the important. A lot of countries talk about it, but not Australia, because they think they're so we can just sweet talk everything. Right? As they do to themselves. They think they can deceive people and get in there first or something like that, as they do to themselves here. But quite amazing. And I was just talking about that to someone that rocked up, and then this person taps in again like they always do. And I was talking about an issue to do with someone else, and I have to talk about them. But here in Australia, apparently, if they go behind the scenes, you can't talk to anyone, apparently, no matter who they stabbed, killed, or anything, because they've got an intervention order on you or something like that. What a joke, hey? They'll, in fact, if they hear about it, and they're right next to you, so it's the best way to do it, they can quickly run over, and you'll never able to talk about these person, because they'll come in, right? And they're allowed to do that. You're allowed to get an intervention order and then go harass the person you think you're scared of and shit. How stupid is that? That's another thing that I hate Australia. That is just so stupid, right? Intervention order should go both ways, right? Doesn't mean that they're not the one that doesn't have to talk, right? But they shouldn't go talk to something that they're not allowed to talk to, right? They talk to that at schools, basically. But they know, here in Australia, they allow people to bully each other. Because as far as I'm concerned, and I'll debate all day long, here in Australia, they're heading towards China and North Korea, because you'll see these steps happen in those areas, right? And they show and promote more that that's where they're heading more likely than to America and stuff like that, even though they like to talk about America and they want America to help them all out. See, America's got it more better. See, in Australia goes, oh man, you're the real balls, isn't it? Isn't it fucking sad? Anyway, have a good one, and see you later. And I've made my choice what I'm doing. It's too easy. Here in Australia, they'll even go, you can fight about your complaint if you think, we're ripping you off. But when you go to court, we'll say you can't. North Korea coming up. See you later. Got all the proof of that video if you're ever interested. But here in Australia, because I'm talking about it like in North Korea, I'd actually be more attacked than they're wanting to do about it. And you'll just hear the facade that they're doing things about things and they're not. Just like North Korea. Fucking amazing. See you later.